Yo!
Listen.
So look, today we're not gonna do too much talking. We're just gonna get straight to the point. We're just gonna be talking about how this one specific Roblox anime game fell off the planet Earth, literally. Back in July, like end of July maybe. This Roblox anime game, if you don't know about it, Fire Force Online. That game dropped, and honestly, to me, I didn't really care for it as much as everybody else was hyping it up to be. The gameplay wasn't really too much. It wasn't really marvelous for me, so it was like okay. And the content was just so like dry at the time, and it wasn't really much to even begin with anyways. But yeah, today we just gonna discuss really what went wrong with Fire Force Online. If you haven't already, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, come join the family. And without further ado, we just gonna get straight to the video. Alright guys, first thing we're gonna do is discuss the content. Now, if I could sum up the content of like the whole entire game, it was really like a real like watered down version of Type Soul in a way, to me, honestly. It had something a bit different though. That being the payload game mode, kind of the same as like Conquest or Team Deathmatch kind of. Aside from that, the game was really like trying to ride a Type Soul vibe, if that makes sense, like trying to copy the PvP experience that Type Soul has and like the formula. Just honestly, it really wasn't needed for a game like that. I don't really see it fitting, especially with how Type Soul was, you know, because it had its own aspects and everything. But aside from PvP modes, the anger progression, such as like awakening your gen, or like not gen but like generation, or even getting Steel to death. But even after that long grind, there was really nothing else to do at all. Everything was just so chopped and clunky, and I don't know, the progression was horrible in my opinion. So what went wrong? Well, honestly, like a lot of games, what kills them? The devs themselves, most of the time with this, is no different from what I know. I believe majority of the devs like had to start school, or like they had other personal things to deal with, but little by little the whole Fire Force Online dev team began to like just fall off entirely. Less content was being added, less patches, nothing new, like no new items, no codes to even keep the players around and even try to get something. It just slowly started to die out, in my opinion. But we're gonna talk about another thing, which was the Ash update. Honestly, this was like the last straw for the game, honestly, because as I saw the Ash update, which was like really one of the only real content to keep the game like alive, this brought you know, a few new items and one new Gen 3 being Ash, but this only jumped the game up to 4,000 players and then right back down to 2,000 players, then back to where it was right now, or not where it was, like back to where it is right now, with literally within the span of a week, like not even a whole 2 weeks, and it was back to where it is right now. Probably even worse right now. But honestly, the best chance honestly I could see for Fire Force Online even like trying to come back is to like A, shut it down, or B, just scrap the game completely and reuse it to make something even better, because there's no real content in the game. Like it's dry. But even with that, they dropped another big update. Following this was the Adola update. I believe that's how it's pronounced. The Adola update, which no Fire Force game previously has ever implemented this. So I'll give them the props for that one. But aside from that, but as nice as it may have been or like looked, it did not save the game at all. Not even a little bit. This update added Adola for Gen 2 and 3, and Steel to Death version 2, like a version 2 of it for Gen 1. Steel to Death already had a long obtainment requirement, so like you have to do a lot to even obtain it in the first place. But when I tell you that this update, when they dropped it, they gatekeeped it so hard. It was almost as bad as how Type Soul was when they was releasing like Bankai requirements or just all that stuff. Like, it was worse than Type Soul, and we know how bad Type Soul was. Type Soul had like a terrible standout. Like, you leak stuff, it got changed immediately. This is worse than that. Honestly, like, I can't really like say what happened to the game entirely though. Like, the update dropped, it peaked at first. I think maybe around like 4K players maybe. But even the same day, the game tanked again. Like, the player base just dropped. So not even an update as big as that saved the game. What are my final thoughts of it? Honestly, like I said before, either scrap the game completely, shut it down, or just like use your assets to make something better or even like bigger than this. Because in all honesty, this game was just, when it dropped, this was honestly just a placeholder for Peroxide at the time, because I think Peroxide was on its way to release, but we didn't have nothing to play and everybody was hyped for Peroxide. Honestly, this is just, you know, something to keep us occupied. The update had a max of maybe around like 10K players, then immediately dropped to 4K, and then finally dropped under to 1K in the same day. That's not a good look for any game at all. Once you hit past level 30, progression was literally one of the worst things ever, because you had to go into rank to level up, and usually when you go there would literally be nobody there, so you would have to go like randomly gank somebody in order to even progress, and that was horrible. Honestly, overall, it hasn't been a lot of Fire Force games to drop on the platform, so I guess it's strong. I guess it had potential, but the execution of it was just terrible, in my opinion. There's nothing else I could really say. Like, the game tanked. The game is like bad. Like, there's a lot more they probably could have done, but I feel like they didn't really execute it in the way that they should have, especially for a game like this. Like, you can't copy. It's okay to get ideas to formulate your game from other games, but completely trying to copy another game like Type Soul, how you PvP curse and all that, it was just a horrible idea. And that's just my opinion on how I would go about it. But yeah, like I said before, A, shut it down for now to try to make it better, or just scrap the game. Or C, just use your assets to make something better. That's really all I had to say on the matter. You know, as always, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, come join the family if you haven't already. And like I always say, we hitting 1K this year, or at least I'm gonna try to. I believe in myself. So yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
I'm free.